It's good, YouTube. Yu-Gi-Oh vendor here, coming to you with Floowandereeze. Um, Obviously we lost Barrier Statue, but this is a slower format. A lot of Labyrinth, a lot of trap tricks, a lot of Catastera, Sword Soul. It's a bunch of decks that's dangerous. Even Scareclaw is getting a little dangerous. I can go on and on and on about decks you have to worry about and you got to be concerned about. Seems like every deck is almost on the same level and they all compete very well. I love this mat. But I think Floowandereeze is still great. Obviously, it hasn't been topping as many regionals. It didn't do well at YCS Vegas. Didn't do terrible either there. Obviously, that was one of the first YCSs didn't really do well at in a while. But I still like the deck. Still enjoy it. This still is the deck I'm going to continue to play. Been playing it for 2 years, basically, since it first came out with the Impin' and then obviously with the Advent. I wasn't really expecting Barrier Statue to be banned. I knew people wanted it to be banned. I didn't think they was going to actually do it because it was out for a while. But it really was just Tearlament versus Floowandereeze over and over again. And if they're going to hit Tearlament, they might as well hit Floowandereeze a little bit. So they ended up doing it. Other than that, that was the only hit, so the deck isn't that much worse. I don't feel like Barrier Statue was like the win condition of the deck, the reason why it was great. It was one of the reasons why it was great. It was one of the reasons why it was the best deck, but it doesn't kill the deck. It doesn't stop the deck. It doesn't change too much about the deck. And I'll just show you that it really just functions the same. Obviously, your win condition is access code. Sometimes you can go into it easier now with Snarl because you can set 1, 2, 3 cards on the field at once. So it makes it easier to go into access code, especially because it's optional to use their effects. Still the Shurag just in case, because it can search one winged beast and you can summon it and you can get the banish effect off. And remember, it's non-targeting, so I think it's still good to play. One link Karibo for defense, for offense to relinquish anima. This is the case they try to get you in time. You're going to use Advent a lot, so you should always have higher life points. If they try to burn you, you have Secure Gardener, which is easy to summon because you just go secure. You go link Karibo, go into Secure Gardener, or you can obviously use Solomon Great Almirage because it's a Cyberse too, and that stops you from getting burnt for game. Also Zeus, the best seed in the game. Once they created it, it just became one of the most popular cards. Is in every extra deck for the most part. And if you can play it, you got to. This card is still good because people still play Adenister and other towers like monsters. And you just need to be able to get over them. Just in case you got double Impin', you just burn them. It's just a win condition. Just in case, you know, you need the life points or you just don't want to risk it. So you burn them. Same with the downer. Sometimes I do use the Lyralist with 3 material. This one be the 4th. Then you go into a 4 material Zeus. But sometimes you fall a little short and the downer gets you to the 4 material Zeus. So you can wipe the board twice. I still play the Recital Starling because sometimes you do need the Eaglin and the Rabina and you don't open well with them. And you can still use this to get to them. Obviously the Omega. It's just a great card. Just being able to shuffle itself and another card back into the deck and give you reusability, especially like for Mega Riser or something. The Wind Pegasus, just if you send it, you can shuffle a card back. And obviously, if the card can't be destroyed by a card effect, you rather shuffle it. But if it can, you just use the Ints. It's good to have both in there. I'm always say you want in this deck, you definitely want to play Cross Out in the side deck because Lightning Storm, Harpy Feather Duster, and Prosperity, that really can hurt you because you want to have map. And if you have map, you have a good chance of winning the duel. So you basically want to be able to stop their Lightning Storms. which everybody still does play because of Labyrinth and obviously Trap Tricks and stuff like that. Same with Harpy's Feather Duster, but these hurt you too. So obviously you want to be able to cross out them. And if you can't, you want to be able to judgment them. That those cards can, you know, hurt your back row and obviously your field spell. Still do play the 2 rivalries. Certain matchups like Castier, they summon extra deck monsters like Big Eye or something like that, and then they out of Psychics, then you just rivalry them. Some other decks like Trap Tricks use insects and plants at the same time, so rivalry hurts those decks sometimes. I still do play the 3 shifters. This is just side deck, some decks, Phantom Knights and stuff like that you can run into, and you can easily just side these in game 3 or something, game 2 and 3, and then you just be able to win easier just because it's just auto game against that deck. And certain decks still get hurt a little bit by shifter, but obviously if everybody's playing Castier and stuff like that, shifter is not as good, so there's no point in main decking it. So I side it, but obviously you can still put it in game 2 and 3 if you do need it. It's only one game. This deck usually win game 1 anyway, especially if you go first. I still play the Snarl. It's easier to go in Access Code. It's easier to go in the Shurag. It also allows you to have some defense, being able to put some cards in defense, and it also do allow you to make better boards. Gives the deck a different play style, and it's on 2900, so that makes it better. I've been playing Snarl for a while. I think it's great. I still do play Double Imping because of the Fenrir and the Diablos, the Mind Hacker. They can really wreck it and allow you to play Impinless sometimes. But it don't come up that often, but it can happen. So you definitely want to have the extra Imping in there just in case it does. Because if you banish face down, you can't Taken. I still do play the 1 Mega Riser. I do want to bump it up to 2 because it allows you to break boards more easier. But the 1 been great. Like I said, you do want to not want to risk it with the 1. But I haven't had that situation come up because I have a lot of defensive cards. Apex, you still want to be able to negate the power spells or the cards that allow your opponent to come back if you have a good board, or a card that can wipe your board, like even like an Evenly. Crossout is also good against Evenly match. And Imperm, everybody's playing Evenly now. Everybody's playing Imperm. So you want to be able to Misveil, Apex, Avian, or like I said in the side deck, cross out those cards. Which that's why the card has been going up in price, because it's that good now. Triple Eagling still allow you to search your Apex, your Imping, your Snarl now. Obviously, your Mega Riser for game. I think it's better than Rabina because it searches the cards that win the game. Rabina is still great. Obviously, being able to get to your Eagling and your Styrie. I play double Taken just because I don't want it to get banished. And it allows you to get your Imping back and your Trap, which allow you to grind a little bit better. Obviously, also allow you to get your map back if they try to banish it with certain cards or they get rid of it. Obviously, you can Styrie, banish your map, and just use Taken to add it back to your hand, because it do have Floowandereeze in his name. I do play Triple Advent. I think it's great to be able to dodge and perm and stuff like that, and still be able to search the card that you need, including a field spell, which is going to be how you set up a good board and control the board. This card is even better now just because you have more cards that you want to tribute over and more cards you want to get rid of. I might bump it up to 2 just because, you know, the floodgates and the monsters, you know, taking your zones, you have to have a way to out them without targeting, and this card does it. But it does stay on the field a lot, and you can always Styrie, Taken, add it back. So it ain't like you really do need it that much, and you can search it with Imping whenever you need it. Triple Duality, obviously better than Prosperity just because you have no cost. You don't special summon. So there's really no drawback to this card, and you can dig and pick the card you want. Prosperity is a little worse because you can't draw after And obviously you have to banish 6. But luckily for this deck, you don't use your extra deck anyway. Only play 2 book because you don't want it to clog. Obviously, it can dodge and perm. Obviously, it allow you to get your Rabina and Eaglin through. You can use it to stop synchros, fusions, a seed summoning, even link summoning because you can't link with a monster that's face down. So it's still great defensively. I really do love this card. It's very important to the deck. I still do play the call by, just because it's still certain cards like Ash that's roaming around, and this card stops them. And certain cards you definitely want to call by so you can stop the effects for the next 2 turns, basically. Even if they're in the grave, you can just banish the one that's already in the grave to negate its effects that if it's in the hand or on the field. So that does come up still. Barrier, just because you can call it Seed, Fusion, Synchro. Everybody's playing Sora, so like I said, everybody's playing Castira. Everybody's playing those type of decks. So Barrier just stops them right in their tracks and puts you in a good situation. The only card this card not really good against is Labyrinth. But, you see more Castira than you see Labyrinth. And obviously, this really helps you in that matchup. And evenly, just allows you to break boards easier. If you don't see Mega Ryza, this card won me so many games just because it wipes back row. It makes them choose what boss monster they want to keep. Obviously, it doesn't target, so it's just a broken card. I didn't play in 3 for years at this point, and it's just perfect for this deck because this deck does struggle sometimes trying to make a comeback, and this card just makes it easier. Triple Imperm, just a great card. Just allowing you to turn off cards. You can play it on either player's turn. It's just certain cards that you definitely want to stop. You definitely want to prevent for going off. And this card obviously helps. Even if you go second, even if you go first, you can, beat your opponent even faster if you can slow them down. And it's still obviously great against Sora Soul, being able to stop the Moye or the Taye at the right time. And it can, really hurt your opponent that way. And then I still do play the trap. Only this one, obviously, because it can put cards face down. It's even better now because there's more cards on the field. And on top of that, the game is much slower. So even if they do try to build a board, you can always, stop them with this card. And you can obviously put more cards face down now because people are summoning more or trying to keep more on the board. And this card gives you more cards you put face down, so that way you can capitalize your next turn and obviously stop them from a seed synchron and link summoning and fusion summoning because they'd be face down. So that helps too. And if you don't have Snow, this is just another way for you not to be completely blown out, in game in like turn 4 or 5. It slows the game down and get it back to where you need to be. And only play 1 just because it's searchable with Imping. Obviously, you can Stereo Token it back, or even if you use his effective banish from the grave, you can obviously token it back and already play 2 tokens. So other than that, the deck is still great, still consistent. Still has the same grind game, still has the Mega Riser, still has the Apex, still has the Imping to allow you to control boards. People are link summoning a little bit more now with the Scare Claw and the Trap Trick. So Imping is a lot better now, obviously, because it can negate more cards effects. It can, attack over more things. So you definitely want to play 2 so you can see it more, so you can beat those matchups a lot faster. I like it's more diverse, it's more decks. Obviously that does mean more threats, but it also means more people can be comfortable playing the decks they actually like instead of playing the same deck just to give them the best chance of winning. So it just makes the format a lot more fun. Other than that, I feel like this is still one of the better decks. Haven't been seeing it a lot at regionals. Hasn't really done well at the last YCS. But, the real Floowandereeze players still can have success with it, still can win with it. Still can grind with it. And like I said, I still been beating Castira and everything the same. It just, all you really got to do is just play smarter. Turns last a little longer, duels last a little longer. And that favors, to me, Floowandereeze, because it's one of the decks that has, you know, good ability to get the card that you need when you need them, and being able to recycle, so it grinds a little better because of that. Other than that, thanks for watching. I have more deck profiles and everything coming up. Other thing I would probably change is probably adding another Book of Moon. The more defense, the more better. But like I said, you do got Snarl, you do got Dreaming in Town, you do got Imperm, you do got Evenly. So I don't really think you desperately need Book, especially because Advent came out. But two, you know, help you not clog and draw too many. Obviously, it's not the worst thing to draw 3 of, because it can always slow down your opponent, but you also don't want to draw and not be able to do no damage or not be able to see engine. So that's why I only played 2 still. But other than that, hope you guys like the deck profile. Yugioh Vendor signing out.